Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Richard Walsh. And I'm so happy that you said yes to our interview. How are you doing today?
Oh, today is an awesome day, Carolyn, especially because I'm here now. This will be awesome. I'm excited.
Is You're so right. You are a CEO of Sharpen the Spear Coaching. You are a 30-year entrepreneur, best-selling author of Escape the Owner Prison, and a mentor to business owners seeking to scale and regain control. Speaker, podcast host, US Marine champion, boxer, black belt, and internationally recognized steel sculptor. You are also a dedicated husband and father of 6. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Richard Walsh.
Well, thank you. Thank you again, Carolyn.
Okay, my first question is, your journey as an entrepreneur is incredibly diverse. What was the defining moment that shaped your approach to business and coaching?
Well, it's been a long journey. So about 35 years now. So started out just basically wanting to make more money. Started that journey. My first 20 years was great. Big collapse, 08, 09. I had to start over with nothing, lost everything, my business, my home, all that stuff. So started from there, rebuilt, but did it differently this time because what I realized, Carolyn, was the first 20 years was all sacrifice for business. Everything was business first. Everything went that way. And I realized at the time in 08, I had 6 small children, 4 years and younger. And I kind of thought, well, if I keep going this path, business first, win all the awards, my children are going to grow up with broken marriages, failed relationships. They might be good at business, but they're really not going to be balanced at all because they only saw what I did because I was not a balanced individual. Business was everything. So I changed it and decided, okay, how do I get going forward? Start a new, completely different business, but balance it out so I could be around my kids when they need to, right? Still have a successful business and balance that out. Did that with 2 more businesses. That was great. People started asking me how I did it. I started to tell them, show them, help them. That went from mentoring into coaching. And now it's my big goal, helping 10,000 business owners create freedom, profit, and impact in their business. And that's where we're at today.
Oh, wow. And that's why we are here helping people achieve their goals. And I love that you already mentioned this is always my last question, about your goals. You mentioned it helping 10,000 people reach their goals or build their businesses. It's so noble, if I may say this. I love that. I love what you do. In your book, Escape the Owner Prison, you emphasize scaling while loving life. How can entrepreneurs balance ambitious growth with personal fulfillment?
I think the number one thing is you've got to build a business that can run itself. You can't be the reason the business is open and in existence. And we all want it that way in the beginning, and we have to be that way in the beginning. A lot of hard work the first 2 years. The struggle, Caroline, is next thing you know, 10 years has gone by and you've repeated the first 2 years 5 times. Okay, so you've never been able to expand and do that. So the real way to get balance is to have a business that can run without you, or what we call you working on your 5%, which is the 5% of the business only you can do. Vision, strategy, right? Reeling in the real big clients, that kind of thing. Everything else others can do. And you have to learn that, do that, then you can create that balance in your life.
That's true. And how important is negotiation and networking in that 5%?
Yeah, it's very important, right? That's what you need to be doing. Bringing in the big clients, meeting the new people, finding new places to grow, that kind of stuff only you can do because you've got the full vision.
Wow, I love that. And I think this is also one of the reasons why we are here in the podcast, doing podcasts, enjoying life, talking to each other, connect all over the world. I love it.
Yes. Me too. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love guesting on podcasts, love hosting podcasts. It's a great way to meet people, like you said, around the world. It's awesome.
When did you start your podcast?
2019. Yeah, I think 2019. I did my first one, launched it. I have a new one now, Sharpen the Spear, so that's launching. But it's been a lot of fun. But I've been guesting a lot, so I've been on about 150 podcasts in the last, 5 months, 6 months. So I've been busy.
You've been busy. Okay, I can relate to that. As a Marine boxer and black belt, discipline and resilience are core themes in your life. How do these experiences translate into your coaching philosophy?
I think it's about doing hard things. So I always encourage anybody, whether they're in business or life, to do hard things. Do things that are going to be difficult for you, they're going to challenge you and stretch you. Because normally when you're doing those things, there has to be a level of accountability. And we are a high accountability coaching program. So we hold people he'll hold their feet to the fire. We give them work to do. We get the work done. We guide them through it. We make sure they get it done so we can reach the goals, show real results. So I think that attitude of really pushing through and completing the task, achieving the objective, that's where it really ties into what I do for a living.
Yes, I understand. And holding people accountable, I think, is also about changing habits, and it's really uncomfortable, right? When you do this, when you are in the process. So how what is your secret?
I don't know if there's a secret. It's about doing it. I think that I think a lot of us don't understand two things. First, they don't understand what they're truly capable of. Everyone has a kind of what they call them limiting beliefs, right? We believe our ceiling is a lot lower than it is. The second thing, I think a lot of people don't get the outside eyes to see how to make that happen. They're so focused on one thing that they're doing, they can't really see around them. And you bring in the outside eyes as a coach. That's the secret. I see things, I can correct them immediately because I don't have any emotion attached to it. It's not my baby, right? It's not the thing that I started from nothing and grew to this. I can just come in and be objective. Do this, and this, and it'll fix that, and that. And they do it, then there's a result. So that's, I think, the secret right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the secret. They are too attached to their business, so they won't let go, and then they cannot see the from zoomed out, so to say, from a different perspective. And you bring it in, you hold them accountable. You give tasks, for example. What would you say is the difference? I know you did not mention it. The difference between mentoring and coaching. Are you doing coaching more or?
Yeah. So here I'll tell you my real world example of mentoring. Mentoring is when you know someone who's done something and they give you free advice, right? You ask them a question, you have coffee, and you can do that. That's mentoring. Coaching, again, being an entrepreneur, coaching is a paid position. So you have programs and you're taking them through and you're demanding accountability. So really easy to give free advice, right? And the people can do it or not do it. It doesn't affect me as the giver of that advice. But as a coach, I have results. I have a game plan. We have things to achieve. So it's a much more significant role to me. And again, some people have to start with mentors, and that's great. But you want to get to the coach level. You want to hire a coach, someone who's going to really help you.
Wow. I would, we in Germany, we are not so used to coaches. We are only at the beginning right now. And I would have seen this the other way around. Like mentor is someone, I think, yeah, how can I say this now? But you are so right, coaching, and it comes from from sports as well. We know this. And yeah, and it is a paid position, you said. And mentor is someone who inspires you without having a working relationship or something?
Exactly. So the saying goes, when you pay attention.
Yeah.
Okay. So think of that in the coach. So when you're investing in the coach, you're going to want to get something, right? You're going to pay attention to being what they're teaching and getting the results you're paying for. Again, nothing wrong with mentors. And that's where I started. You have to ask people like, hey, I want to think about doing this. I think you've done this. What would you suggest? Or even when I have a coach, I have a circle of counsel. Okay, wise counsel, people who I trust and respect, so I can take big decisions I need to make to them and get their feedback to help keep me on course and not doing something really stupid like I've done in the past. So it's really good to have really both. Have that coach that can drive you, but have the mentors, the people in your tighter circle you respect to get really some really great opinions and help you in decision making.
So you listen to them, and it's kind of a
Mhm.
mastermind, right? It's like,
Exactly.
mhm. I love that. And I assume you read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Who hasn't, right? Like it's a must. It's a must. Like you can't, it's one of those classics that people actually read.
Yes, that's so true. Let's have a look at the next question. You've achieved success in multiple fields from business to art. What advice would you give to those seeking to pursue their passions alongside their careers?
Yeah, it's important to understand hobbies. So there's an old saying, hobbies cost money, businesses make money. Okay. So if you treat your passion as a hobby, just know it's going to cost you a lot of money and you're not going to profit from it. If you want to take your passion, whether it's art or anything, it could be building computers, it doesn't matter. You have to focus on it being a legit business. If you have a nonprofit, right, you do charity work, you have to treat it like a business. The nonprofit part is just a tax status. It still needs to be run like a business. Very important. If you put that mindset in, you will succeed. I was never a starving artist, Caroline. I sold everything I made because I treated it like a business, and it was super successful. And I'm fortunate, but I was also intentional on what I was doing.
Oh, I understand. And what advice would you give to someone who starts their business right now?
Start with the exit. Start with the end in mind. Understand where you're going to go with this, how long you're going to do it, how much you want to get out, because you go from there and you reverse engineer it. Now you have a plan. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? You're going to make money and you're going to work and you're going to do all those things, but you're going to get trapped in the owner prison because you don't have a real plan. You don't even know when to hire your first person because you haven't laid out the plan. So you can't really go. You're going to flounder a lot. So you want to make sure that you start with the end. How much? Is it 10 years from now, 20 years from now? How much do I want to sell the business for? How do I replace my active business income, the money I'm making as I go along when I sell? Because let's say I'm making $1 million a year, my personal salary, built a great business. Now I sell it for $20 million. But what do I lose? I lose $1 million a year because that stays with the company. So I need to create passive assets that can give me that income to replace that money. Now I get the sale price, plus I'm still making my $1 million a year on passive income. So that's part of the exit strategy. I can plan for that and build it over that 10 or 20 years.
Wow, I think this is the best advice I've ever heard. Now I can tell you. Really, thank you so much. Thinking from the end, of course, thinking from the goal, not on the goal. Focus on the goal is not the right thing. And as Steve Jobs said, we can only connect the dots looking backwards, right? Not looking forward.
That's right.
So this is great. So you plan the exit in the beginning. That means there's no way of, I'm doing it until the rest of my life.
Right. It's important. Now, let's say you want to get out in 10 years, but now you're at year 9 and you're having so much fun. You're making great money. Well, you can move the goalpost. You don't have to get out, but your business is built to be sold, which means it runs itself. It's very attractive to someone who does want it, but you don't have to sell it then. So it gives you options. If it's going, hey, you want to go a couple more years, go a couple more years, expand, do whatever you want to do. But at least you've done it the right way. And you have that freedom, profit, and impact that we want to help business owners get.
Yes, I understand, and the opportunities are only there because we have a plan, right? You set the goal, and you said after 10 years I sell it or whatever. You plan your exit, and that gives you opportunities, also freedom, of course. And if you don't set a goal, you never arrive, right?
Exactly. One of the best things about having that exit strategy, when other opportunities come to you, Carolyn, so you'll get, oh, I got a great way to make money. I got this. And people are going to bring things to you. Well, you use that exit strategy as your business filter. Say, okay, let me take a look at it. I run it through my exit strategy. Does it get me closer to the end faster, or does it detract from it? Is it going to slow me down? If it detracts, it's a hard no. I say, I'm not doing it. But if it gets me closer, that's another spoke on my wheel, another stream of income. I'll do that because it's going to speed me to the end. So it becomes a really great tool to make decisions that are not emotional. They're strictly based on your exit strategy. Really, really great tool.
Wow, it has to do with discipline as well in the beginning, and then we form a habit from it. And when we know where we are going, just like you, then there's no question you get distracted, right? You stay focused, and that is what I love also. And that is what I learned today. Thank you so much. And let's talk about your goal once again. You help 10,000 at least business owners to build their business or grow their business. This is great. Do you have other goals, for example, another book or a podcast or helping people or an NGO?
Yeah, all those. I have working on a new book called Sharpen the Spear. That's the name of the book. Launching a new podcast called Sharpen the Spear. So that's going to be coming out next week. I'll be launching that. But those are my primary things. My kids have now all just kind of growing. I one in the Marine Corps. They're all 18, 17, 16 years old now, 20, which is awesome. So kind of getting them launched into the world. They're all working doing that. That's one of my big goals. I've done pretty well raising them, my wife and I. And and scaling Sharpen the Spear. That's the big thing. I have some really big ideas to really scale this company to an incredible level to help those 10,000 business owners create freedom, profit, and impact in their business.
Oh, I love what you said, launching your kids into the world. I never heard this expression yet. It's like a rocket
Yep.
ship, or yes. Thank you so much. I learned something. And when people reach out to you now after listening to this episode, do you have special offers or services for the Inspired Podcast community?
I'll tell you what, if they go to sharpenthespearcoaching.com, just go to my contact page, send me a 1-sentence email, said, I saw you on Caroline's show. I'd love the free audio version of Escape the Owner Prison, and I'll send it to them.
Oh my goodness, this is so generous. Thank you so much. I look forward listening to it, if I may, if I am in your inner listening circle. Thank you so much. Please reach out to Richard. He's amazing. I learned so much today. And now it's time for your last thoughts to the audience, please.
I will say, as we started in the beginning, do hard things. Make that part of your habit. Challenge yourself in any way. I don't care if it's physically, mentally, whatever you got in your life, do something hard. It's going to make you better as a person, make you better as a business owner, an employee. Anything you do, doing difficult things makes you different.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Thank you so much. This was your episode with the Inspired Podcast. Thank you. And I see you in the next one.